Hey, what's up, everybody? Time for another social study video. Remember, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks. This is a video that is going off of those recent videos where I was trying to, inspire people, right? And I'm going to show some messages from Mike Watson, and I'm going to reveal my secret, famous transgender friend. Right? But why am I doing this? So, I'm not going to show the guy's messages just because he has donated to the channel before, but apparently this guy does not like me, but he watches my videos, so I'm going to talk about him right now because apparently he says that that recent video I made shows that I'm not a morally good person and that I am covertly exploiting other people and him for money, apparently. Because I said that I do not consider people on YouTube my friends. That apparently really bothers this guy, which makes no sense to me because I've said that before, that no, I don't consider everybody my friend on YouTube. I don't think that's weird. I do believe that in life, a lot of times you only have maybe 5 real friends in life at one point, right? The rest are just acquaintances. I also believe that a lot of people just use words as easy words to get something, right? Oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. Whatever, to get something like, oh, you're my friend, right? That's why I prefer to say, hey, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you, dude. We don't need to pretend that we're best friends. I don't think that's exploiting people by saying that. I think that's actually a morally better thing to do, to be like, hey, dude, you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. We don't need to give it a label, right? You know what I mean? So why I want to show Mike Watson's messages and I want to show this famous transgender person is because I want to show you an example of this, because I actually take quite offense to someone trying to say that I am morally not a good person. When I have actually, how many times have I said, no one has to donate to my channel? If you actually just call out the haters who have lied about me throughout the years, that is supporting the channel, and I appreciate it, right? But Mike Watson is someone that I've said many times before. I have a lot of respect for Mike Watson, right? And you can look at some of these messages, and what I want you to appreciate, if you look at these messages, and you can pause it if you want to read it. We're not going to go every message. I should probably show the messages where he said that he talked to James Chen, and James Chen basically admits that he's been paid off to lie about me for years, which is absolutely, fuck that motherfucker for that shit. Imagine asking me for help while I've been dying in a hospital, and then you're getting paid to lie about me, and you can't talk about it. Oh, that's the famous transgender friend. We'll get to that. But anyway, if you look at some of these messages, hopefully you can appreciate that, Mike Watson has said many good things about me. And I've obviously, in some examples of these messages, said many good things about him too. But I've also told him, dude, Mike, if you're cool, I'm cool with you. We don't need to pretend that we're best friends. We don't know each other that well, right? You're cool with me, I'm cool with you. We don't need to say that we're best friends. I respect you. When I think about Mike Watson, I remember reading about Mike Watson as a kid. I remember like, whoa, people can make money playing Street Fighter? That's so crazy. Remember, and I know this gets especially the haters that watch these videos, because I know my haters watch my videos. I'm not someone that even knew that I was quotation marks good at video games, right? I just entered my first tournament and I already started beating people, right? And I feel very lucky that I was able to win tournaments, all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm surprised that I've been able to do as well as I have, right? But I remember reading about guys like Mike Watson, and I'm like, whoa, that is so cool. He's like synonymous with Street Fighter for me, right? Even if Mike Watson, does not have the legacy that maybe when people talk about Valle or Choi or any of these other people, if you actually grew up during the Street Fighter days, right? The Street Fighter 2 days, when Street Fighter was the biggest video game, not just the biggest fighting game, the biggest video game at the time, you would know. You think about Street Fighter, you think about guys like Mike Watson. So what I'm getting at this, I want you to appreciate that even though me and Mike Watson are both saying good things about each other in this video, right, or in some of these comments, right, and of course there's many conversations throughout the years, right, I'm not sucking up to Mike Watson being like, oh, we're best friends. You're my friend. Blah, 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 and things like that. I'm like, yo, dude, I respect you and we're cool and we don't need a label. No one needs to put a label on it, right? So again, that's just an example. So this guy got mad that, I don't consider everyone on YouTube my friend. Look, here's a dude that I looked up to as a kid when I'm being abused in my fucking house. You know what I mean? Growing up, having a terrible life. You know what I mean? And guess what? I'm not going to suck up to him and be like, hey, dude, we're best friends or something like that. But guess what? We're cool. That's all. Especially, I'm actually very insulted to say someone, oh, you don't have good morals and you're exploiting people. I'm the same person that when people are lying about me, I have hung out with homeless people in a fucking bathroom. And guess what? If that homeless person that I was hanging out in the bathroom doesn't tell me that he's my friend, I'm not going to think that's weird because we don't really know each other. But anyway, something that I will say, I can appreciate the fact that, if someone's like, if someone was outwardly being like, oh, you're not my friend, blah, blah, blah. And why, I show this. And so this is in case you didn't know, and I've showed her before, right? So this is the famous transgender friend that I have, right? Does anyone know who she is? I don't want to give her name. She has a different name on the internet. And, she has a real name. I'm not going to put out her name and I'm not going to give you her phone number, but I mean, you can, wait, can you see this? I don't know. Oh, jeez, I'm scared. Definitely don't want to show her name. Ooh. Can we pause this? You can see the phone. You can see where.
Oh my God, sorry, I'm laughing so hard. You pronounce it very wrong, actually.
Okay, so anyway, we've known each other for a very long time, right? Even I always think it's funny that she remembers when we first started talking, which is very bizarre to me. I think it's a girl thing. I think it's not a guy thing. And yes, I referred to her as a girl because I still consider her a girl, right? I don't remember the first day that I've talked to any fucking girl, but she remembers the first day because I remember we were talking recently and I was like, man, have we known each other for like 5 or 6 years now? And she was like, actually, it's been like 8 years, Clayton, we first started talking. But whatever the case, and that would have been a year ago. So maybe we've known each other about 9 years, but whatever the case. So, me and her, our pictures were both stolen on the internet around the same time, right? And she was a famous, as they used to say on the internet, trap, right? You know what I mean? And my pictures were getting stolen. People, I feel like, unfortunately, like I said, when my pictures were really being stolen on the internet, I just, I couldn't even walk, right, for a while. So unfortunately, I never really got to take advantage of it. But it is what it is, and that's how we met, because our pictures are both being stolen on the internet, right? And we started talking. But I've also said this girl, she has insulted me many times, I would say, as a friend, right? And I say a friend because, me and her have had hours and hours of conversations on the phone. We have each other's phone numbers, right? I blocked her this year because I just got so fucking tired of her, I blocked her, right? And she can be very insulting because she always goes back to this thing that I met you on the internet, so I can never completely trust you. And 1 minute she'll be like, you're Clayton, you're my only friend, you're my only friend. We still talk after all this time. All my other friends will eventually leave me, and of course, as you can see, she's extremely, extremely feminine, right? She's more feminine. I mean, look at that baby face, those lips. I mean, she's very feminine, right? But, and she's even told me that how toxic the LGBTQ is, and she doesn't really have friends from the community because she's so feminine, they apparently don't actually even accept her, right? But we've had a lot of, let's say, differences, and why I eventually blocked her because, I've said before, you think about all the LGBTQ community, all the lies they've made up about me. I've had gay people, I used to house them, you know what I mean? They've lived with me before, right? And all the evil stuff that people have made up about me from the LGBTQ. And I've known her for, I guess it would be about 9 years, whenever that message was, when she said it was 8 or something. And I'm like, dude, well, maybe not anymore, but for a time she was famous on the internet. And I'm like, why don't you come on the internet or on my channel one time and let's just, can you throw me a bone here? You know that this isn't true. And she's like, well, you know how the community is. If I say something bad, there are actually people that don't like us, and then it will look bad on me. And she's like, but I just want you to know that I think everyone knows you don't actually hate gay people. You don't hate transgender people. Everyone knows deep down how friendly you are, blah, blah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I don't think they do, because a lot of people make up lies about me. But so that's just going to, I'm like, you can't even throw me a bone. And this girl, and I'm not going to tell all the secrets that she's told me in life, you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to say her real name. I'm not so petty that I would give everybody her phone number, or, I even talked to her mom before, but she never, even though she would call me on the phone crying sometimes for hours and hours about how I was her only friend, she would always go back and forth with this, oh, Clayton, I just want to remind you, I don't want you to think that we're actually real friends again, I just want you to remember that we're not real friends, because I can never trust you because you're on the internet, and I remember, it was, I guess it would have been the end of last year. Her mom died and her dog died, and, she was very sad, right? And I'm not going to put all her personal business out there, but, I'm not going to tell every story she's told me. But the point is, she was going through a lot of family stuff, and she was like, please let me call you again. Please let me call you again. And just hours and hours of on the phone talking to her. And then just to go back and be like, Clayton, I want you to remember that we're not real friends, even though we just had this conversation. And it became very irritating. And I got to the point that I have eventually, I even told her, because this has gone on many, many years, she does this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yo, dude, you realize at this point, I feel like I'm only talking to you because I think you're good looking. Like, I feel bad for you that, and of course it must suck, and this is something that I say about the LGBTQ, which a lot of them, they don't seem to understand, is that, normal, non-transition people, cisgender, whatever the fuck you want to call it, feel insecure too, right? And, I just feel like, I feel bad that, she's not who she wants to be, right? But that's something that, everyone deals with, not just transgender people, right? And I'm not trying to make light of her situation because, again, she can't even have friends in the LGBTQ because she's so feminine, which is, well, I guess, look at me in the nerd community. I can't even have nerd friends half the time. I just said the word friends because motherfuckers are crazy. So it is what it is, right? But that is an example of someone that I would say that's insulting to constantly, not constantly, because we have breaks of not talking on and off because, she has a lot of depression issues and stuff like that. But, to call someone on the phone for hours and hours and cry to them about your life and how you're their only friend, and then the next minute to be like, I just want to remind you, we're not real friends. I said that, but remember, we're not real friends. I met you on the internet, and I will never be friends with a person on the internet. Oh, well, maybe I would, but, not you. I just can't trust you, blah, blah. And it's just like, eventually I'm like, I told her, many times, I feel like I'm only talking to you because you're good looking. And obviously I feel, your situation is not good, but, what are we doing here? I'm just here to listen to you cry all the time. And so eventually I've blocked her, and we haven't talked in, well, I'll look it up. When did we last talk? Does it have a date? So we last talked May 29th. So I guess it wasn't that long ago. May 29th. What was that? Would it be about 4 months ago or something like that? So I blocked her 4 months ago. I thought I would have blocked her longer than that, but whatever the case. That's when I blocked her, apparently. So that is an example, though. Whatever the case, when I just think about this guy talking about how I'm not actually a good person, how I'm not a moral person, how I exploit people because I don't want to say that he's my friend, even though he has donated to the channel. I mean, yo, bro, I said, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you. Don't put a label on it. It's not like an example of this girl here who will call me for hours on the phone crying and then be like, hey, I just want to remind you, I'm not your friend. You're not my friend, blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like, okay, bro, like that is, I would say that's more exploitative and that's actually rude, right? But again, the example, just to show Mike Watson, again, a guy that I've looked up to. But I'm not going to be like, hey, we're best friends. I respect you and we're cool. And that's all that needs to be said, right? Just like the guy that donated to the channel. He doesn't want to donate anymore. Okay. Appreciate you donating. Don't donate to the channel. If the only reason you donated to my channel is because you want me to say that we're best friends, well, don't donate anymore. You know, I hate to break it to you, but most people in life aren't real friends. You know, that's just the way that it works. And I mean, look at the things that people that are supposedly friends will do to each other. Look at the things the people that are supposedly friends. Fucking, we've seen Buttmonger used to say that I was his friend, which was ridiculous, right? You know, now actually thinking about it, it's very possible he's a weird dude that I used to beat in tournaments, thinking about it. You know, but, you know, and I don't think that you should say everyone is your friend either, because again, most people are not good people. And most people are only friends in the moment. Friends is an easy word, and you need to be careful with people because there are actually people that are exploitive, right? I mean, you can look at my Patreon, even look at the Patreon, right? No one has to donate to the Patreon, but I even say if you want to donate to the channel for everything that I've done for video games throughout the years, do it. But know that I will not promise you anything because I don't play a lot of video games. Is that exploitive? Is me saying, hey, if you want to donate to the channel, thank you. If you don't, it's okay. If you just help me expose haters, I mean, that's good too. So anyway, I took offense to that. Because to say that I'm not a morally good person when I have fucking helped hung out with fucking homeless people in the fucking bathroom while people are lying about me. Well, I have been dying in the hospital helping the video game community. No one would do what I have done for the fucking video game community with all the harassment I've gone throughout the years. And you wouldn't even be able to do it in the first place because you're just not as clever as me, right? That's not me being narcissistic. That's just the truth. I've done more than everyone else in video games when it comes to tech. Fighting games. I can't speak of other video games. I can't say, but fighting games, no one has done what I've done for tech. That's not being a narcissist. That's just fucking the truth, right? That's not me saying that, oh, I would win every tournament or some shit like that. No, I said I feel lucky that I was able to win, right? I feel lucky that I've randomly signed on throughout the years and still been able to win, right? That's just stating the fact. I'm sure anyone could beat me, but whatever the case, I was shocked by the messages that this guy gave me. And I was like, this is delusional, but I still appreciate you donating to the channel before. And if anyone else ever wants to donate to the channel, thank you. But I'm not going to say you're my best friend for you donating to the channel, dude. Sorry. If that's what you thought I was going to do, you're wrong. Anyway, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel. If you want, I appreciate it. Thanks. The end.